Hello, hello. This is Sierra O here. Excited about this evening. It's a beautiful evening here in Kampala. Wanting to rain anytime. The clouds are annoyed outside, but I know we are going to have a great time this evening. Yes, good evening, Joseph.
Good evening to you.
I guess Sorot is okay.
Yeah, sir, it is fine. Quite hot.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So as we promised, that starting from today, we are going to be sending. Josephine, could you mute, please? I'm getting a feedback. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So as we promised, starting from today, we are going to get we are going to be sending you a recording on daily basis for the next 5 days, so that we can finish what we started on Saturday. We started our first package. We call it Unleashing the Lion Within. But guess what? We're supposed to handle 3 lessons. We're only able to handle 2. So today we are finishing what we were supposed to finish on Saturday, so that tomorrow we begin, and we are hoping that by Friday we are able to have covered that. So you are welcome, or I hope you're welcoming me, and as I'm welcoming you. So here we are. I am with Josephine. We thought we'd do this a live one to be interactive, so that not just me talking, but to create a live environment. It's bad that we are missing you, but we are looking forward to Saturday when we shall have you again. So I'm going to jump right into what we have today. You are not going to believe what we have for you today, because our lesson today is called the curse of comfort. But not believe that, the curse of comfort. But I want Josephine to share with me what she's seeing on her screen, and also be able to give me her impression. Josephine, could you come on, please?
Wow, the lesson is very interesting. The curse of comfort, and the objective is even more powerful. Determining the critical process involved in discovering and becoming your true self. Wow, what an objective. I think that this is one of the things that is lacking, and people do not have an idea of the process, the critical process that an individual should go through if they are going to become a leader. And I'm glad and excited that this is what we are going to be able to share, that each and every one of us must go through the process to become oneself. I'm glad. I think I'm excited and eager to learn.
Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful, beautiful. So there we are, determining the critical process involved in discovering and becoming your true self. It's starting to rain, but I know I'm not going to be interrupted by the rain. Beautiful. So determining the critical process involved in discovering and becoming your true self. Remember again, if I can summarize to you our idea, that we have 3 simple ideas: discover yourself, develop yourself, and deploy yourself. So then we began the process of self-discovery, because this is the proven path to personal success. This is the proven path to unleashing the dream in the inside of you. Discover yourself, develop yourself, and deploy yourself. So we started the work of discovering ourselves on Saturday. As I said, that has brought us to now. So I'll not waste any time, but on your screen right now, what you're seeing is determine the critical process involved in discovering and becoming your true self. The lesson is called the curse of comfort. The curse of comfort. So I will just step into this without wasting any time and ask Josephine to be able to share with me what you are seeing on your screen right now, Josephine.
On my screen is, I think, a reflection back of the story that we had shared, the story of the lion among the sheep. And yes, and the number one thing that I see on my screen is, just as the young lion's genuine growth revealed his inherent strength, you too can release your inherent leadership gift when you come to understand your true self.
Wow. Thank you. Let me jump into and help our colleagues to understand what this means. Again, we are saying, determine the critical process involved in discovering and becoming your true self. But then we are picking it up from the story of the lion that thought was sheep. This is an interesting story. And we are going to use this story the whole of this week. In fact, our first package, which is the self-discovery package, the Who Am I package, we use this story of the lion because this is a powerful story, has powerful principles. And one of those principles is what is on your screen. We are going to use it to understand what is this critical process that we must be involved in if we're going to become our true self. So as we say, the story of the lion among sheep, there are two decisions that this young lion made to become his true self. Two decisions. And if you're also going to become your true self, you must make those two decisions. We are using this young lion as a prototype of what we are supposed to do to reach where the young lion reached, because the young lion became himself. He became himself. So the first process that the young lion went to is what you're seeing on your screen, which says, just as the young lion's genuine growl revealed his inherent strength, you too can release your inherent leadership gift when you come to understand your true self. What does this mean? This means that you too, the day you come to understand your true self, it is very easy for you. It will be very easy for you to release that gift in the inside of you, to release that dream in the inside of you, to release that person in the inside of you. It is impossible to release the person when you don't understand your true self. So this is the process we saw with this young lion. The first thing that happened, it became aware of its true self. How did it become aware? That's why we saw it beginning to growl, beginning to growl. The first time, bah, just like sheep. The second one, bah, just like sheep. But guess what? By the seventh time, it made the same sound like the beast. It had discovered that I am just like this beast. So you too, you must be able to go through the same process. That is why last time I talked to you about the idea of solitude, because this can be achieved through having a time of solitude. Again, remember the discovery started for the young lion when he separated himself from the sheep and went to the river alone to drink water. That is when it was able to see a clear reflection of his true self in the water. And that's what we call a time of solitude. Had the lion gone there with his usual environment again, with a lot of the sheep and all those kind of things, it would be the usual thing, making noise, playing around the water. It would have not seen this reflection. What am I saying? Solitude is a form of overcoming distraction. Doing something more specific, more precise, more definite with your time. You must leave that environment. You must leave your environment right now. One time, a day has to come when you set up maybe 1 day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, a time alone with yourself. As I told you last time, Bill Gates still practices this up today. Once, as in 2 weeks in a year, as in 2 weeks, yes, every year, he goes for 2 weeks, he goes for solitude. So because the mystery is this, nothing can be given back to without solitude. Nothing can be given back without solitude. Do you know that even you as a human being, I'm talking about you, even me as a human being, it took solitude to be given back to us. You can never give back to anything in the world without solitude. To give back to a child, a woman and a man must isolate themselves in order to give back to a child. The same way with you, in order to give back to this self of yours in the inside, your soul and your spirit. Remember, your spirit, you have a soul. So the two must be isolated. They must have a time of solitude for them to get a revelation, for the soul to get an awareness of the spirit man that's inside of you. So there are always a fruit that comes out of solitude. A time of solitude will always produce fruit. I've read about Michelangelo. He used to go for 6 months in his studio. He locks up himself. They just bring food under the door. 6 months is alone by himself. Why? He wants to bring that idea in the inside of him without any distraction. He wants to bring it out, and that's why he's a great guy. People like Salvador Dali, they did the same thing. So solitude is powerful for you to discover who you are. Just like the young lion, we are learning from the young lion. You too also must be able to discover your true self. The day you discover your true self, that person in the inside of you will get out. The day you understand your true self, that gift in the inside of you will get out. Beautiful. So that's the first step. Let us now move and see the second step. You can see the lion is there rolling. That young lion is there rolling, has discovered himself. That's what I want for you. Let's see the second decision or the second step that this young lion went through. Josephine, could you give me that on your screen? I hope I'm good to go. Right? I can't hear you, Josephine.
Just as the young lion knew that to become his true self, he would have to give up the safe, secure, predictable, and simple life of the farm and enter the frightening, wild, untamed, unpredictable, dangerous life of the jungle. You will have to leave the safe and comfortable confines of being a follower if you are going to become your true self.
Wow, this is powerful. This is the second step here again. And listen to me, guys. Just as the young lion knew, he knew that to become his true self, he would have to give up. Give up what? The safe, secure, simple, and predictable life of the farm. I want you to do a simple exercise with me. I want you to get a piece of paper and just make a cross in the middle. Make a line in the middle. And on one side, I want you to write the farm. And on the other side, write the jungle. And on the side of the farm, I want you to write this: safe, secure, predictable, and simple. And on the side of the jungle, I want you to write wild, untamed, frightening, unpredictable, dangerous life. That is what you have on the side of the jungle. On the side of the farm, I've already told you what to write. So what I want you to do, I want you to draw an arrow from the farm to the jungle. That arrow shows the transition you're supposed to go through, learning from the lion, the transition you're supposed to go through to become your true self. You must be able to give up. Give up what? The safe, secure, predictable, and simple life. It is very unfortunate, but this is what is trapping a lot of our people. The desire for safety, the desire for security, the desire for predictability and simplicity of life. In fact, our number one promise that they always tell our people, that please get a job that is what? That is secure, that is safe, that is predictable, and that is simple. Josephine, what do you say about this? Because I know you have a lot of experience with our people, especially in regard to this that we are learning.
Yeah, I think that this is the number one hindrance to success or to living a life of a leader. Many of us have been groomed into the culture of find something simple, you need to find something that is predictable, and find something that is easy to do. So I think it's a number one hindrance to true success. It's the number one, and fear of the unknown. So you want to be in an environment that is simple and predictable. You know, I'll wake up at the end of the month. I know this is going. As in, that kind of desire is what is hindering majority of people from really becoming leaders.
Wow! And yet, the mystery is this: that the lion is showing us there has to be a transition. Listen. The life of entrepreneurship, the life of achievers, the life of successful people, the life of world changers, a life they live a frightening, wild, untamed, unpredictable, and dangerous life. This is the reflection of what it takes to achieve, especially the success that we desire to achieve. So you have to leave the safe and comfortable confines of being a follower if you are going to become your true self. The leader in the inside of you, that successful person in the inside of you, is trapped in this environment of simplicity, in this environment of predictability, of this environment of security. And I hear left, right, and center every day our people are talking about, if you get a job, and not a government job, pensionable, because what, you can predict they're not going to chase you, why it is secure, it is safe, and it is simple. You go there at 9, and it's not a lot of work. Sometimes you don't even write reports. But this is why most civil servants tell you they're broke. This is why they're stuck. Because in order for you to change the world, in order for you to do something that people have not done before, you cannot do it in that environment. So that is why we are calling this lesson the curse of comfort. Listen to me, the curse of comfort. What, Richard, what do you mean? What do you mean by the curse of comfort? Let me explain this to you, what I mean. Because comfort is a result. Comfort, if life is cause and effect, and yes, life is cause and effect, you realize that comfort is an effect, it's not a cause. Comfort is an outcome of something. Comfort is not something you pursue. Comfort is a result. You must pursue something that produces comfort. But why I'm calling it the curse of comfort? Because a lot of our people, they are seeking for comfort. They are looking for comfort jobs. They are looking for comfort life. They're everything. They are looking for that. They are looking for comfort in everything, which is a lie. This is a curse. You are not supposed to be pursuing comfort. Comfort is going to be a result of something that you have pursued. Let me repeat that again. Comfort will be a result. So comfort is a result, not a pursuit. So in order for you to transition to become your true self, you need to leave behind the comfort of the farm. You need to, I don't know what the farm means to you. I don't know where you are today, because I know, because you desire success, I know the farm life has trapped you. But what is the farm for you? What is the farm for you? I want you to know that you can never become your true self living the life of the farm. Leave that comfort of the farm and embark on fulfilling the principles of the jungle. Just like we see the young lion is teaching us. He had to look back and forth. Back and forth. He looked at the sheep with whom he had lived the whole of his life, and he said, bye-bye. He had to turn his back to them, and he went into the jungle. Going into what? He headed into a frightening. Listen to me. The jungle, no one is there to help you. The jungle, you are there by your own self. It is raining, there's no house, there's no shelter. You are there, you don't know if you're going to eat. It's a dangerous life, and yet it's the life of achievers, the life of entrepreneurs, it's the life of world changers. So if you want to change the world, if you want to live for something bigger, if you want to be your true self, there's no shortcut. The lion is teaching you, and so we must follow the lion. So the mystery is this: in life, you are either living by the principles of the farm, and you're producing a life of mediocrity or sheepish lifestyle. My point is, if you observe your life today, whatever you're producing, the result you're getting is telling you which kind of life you're living. It's telling you which principles are you following. If you are living a life of mediocrity, if you are living a sheepish life, then you are following the principles of the farm. Because in life, you'll either be living by the principles of the farm and producing mediocrity, or you are going to be living by the laws of the jungle. And so you're producing what? A life of a lion. You're producing a life of success. So the issue is, you can't just say, I want to be a successful person. I want to be a lion. I want to be a leader. No, it's not about wanting. Listen to me, it's not about wanting. The lion is teaching us here, and I think this is the greatest ignorance, that we can live the life of the farm and produce the life of a lion. That we can live the principles of failures and produce a life of success. That we can live the life of a sheep and then we produce the life of a lion. It doesn't work that way. The good book tells us what you sow is what you reap. Life is cause and effect. The actions that you take today determine the result you're going to get tomorrow. So I want you to take the actions of the jungle so that you get the results of successful people. You get the result of lions. You get the results of achievers. Let's consider this, I think the most powerful man to ever live on earth, this young Jewish leader, Jesus Christ. Paul talks about him, and he says, for the joy that was set before him, he despised the shame. For the joy that was set before him, he despised the shame. He didn't say, I just want to be a savior. Oh, he just talked from heaven, I want to be a savior. No. Josephine, can you imagine that? that God in the body of Jesus had to come and pass through the process. Had to pass through the process.
Yes, I think that Jesus here is trying to teach us a very important lesson, that there has to be a process that individuals have to go through, or that we have to go through to achieve the results that we desire. There has to be a process.
There has to be a process. There has to be a price. There has to be something that you're paying. Listen, the young lion had to leave the comfort of the farm behind to be the lion whom he had always been. The issue is for you, for Jesus to be the king. He's seated on the right hand side of God. But you know what, God the Father, you know that he just did not somersault there. He went through the cross. So Paul is telling us, for the joy that was set before him, he despised the shame. So he didn't just say, I want to be a savior. He had to come and go through the pain and the shame of the cross. So what I want us to look at, I want us to look at the principles. There are 10 principles that we're going to be discussing with you this evening, that we are going to look at the 10 principles that when you follow them, when you live by these principles, when you observe these laws, when you obey them, you will reap the result of a lion. You will automatically, I call them the principles of the jungle. Once you live by these principles, there's no shortcut. Live by the principles. Live by the cause. The effect of it is going to be success. The effect of it is going to be the life of success, the life of a leader, the life of influencers, the life of dominators, the life of leaders. Josephine, are you excited about these principles?
So excited, so excited.
Beautiful, beautiful. I wanted to give me, because right there is the first principle on your screen. Give me the first principle and we just jump into it.
Be tough with yourself.
One more time.
Be tough with yourself.
Be tough with yourself. Be tough with yourself. Be tough. The life of the jungle is about being tough. Listen, for the lion to survive, for this young lion to survive in the jungle, it has to be tough. It got to be tough. You must be tough with yourself. What does this mean? What does it mean to be tough with yourself? To be tough with yourself means stop pitying yourself. In the jungle, there's nothing like a self-pity. You cannot afford to pity yourself, because who's there to look after you? Who's there to take care of you? You pity yourself, you're dead. You pity yourself, you're gone. You're gone. And most of us like so much self-pity. We like to be and explain and justify. You know, it is only us who are passing through this. I'm the only one failing. You are lying. Everyone is passing through challenges. So in the jungle, life is about being tough with yourself. Now, why is this the case? This is the case because life is about pain, friends. Life is about pain. Everybody in one way or the other feels pain. Everybody, there's no one, just when you know any individual on earth who has never passed through pain.
I think no one. Somehow, somewhere, there is pain in any situation.
There's pain. If you're afraid of pain, if you run away from pain all the time, that means you pity yourself too much. You pity yourself too much. Listen to me. I am here to help you. And what I'm telling you is this. Don't fear pain. Go towards that pain. Confront that pain. If you run away from that pain, you will never have any progress in life. If you run away from pain, you will never have any progress in life. Have you ever seen, because here's the point, whatever progress in life requires pain. Whatever progress in life, think about your life. Whatever progress you've made, you pass through some pain. Is it about, look at sports, to go to the next level in sports, it's about pain. I don't know, back at school, to just perform better, it's about pain. Just what do you say about this? Have you ever made any progress in life without pain?
I think there isn't any progress without pain. Or there is this common saying that no gain without pain. In other words, for you to get to the next level of progress, there has to be some opportunity cost that you go through. There are some things that you forego, and that foregoing sometimes and most times and all the time, it causes pain. But yet, that is what you need to go through to see the progress. So
Exactly.
any progress is really pain.
No, no progress, as in no pain, no gain. You all know that. So whatever you decide to do, if you are going to move to the next level, it's going to ask you for some pain. It's going to demand pain from you. So if you fear pain, for example, if you want to be different from other people, they're going to begin to criticize you. They're going to begin to attack you. You know, that causes pain. If you want to stop hanging out with your friends so that, you know, you can revise and read your books and study, that is going to cause pain. But the beautiful thing is this, that pain is called voluntary pain. It is called voluntary pain. They are pains that you need to pay, that you need to pay the price for, that they are the pains that you need to pay the price for right now, so that you're able to avoid greater pain in life later on. Because it was John Maxwell who says, play now and pay later, or pay now and play later. Either way, you'll have to pay. Either way, you have to pay. So you choose when. Am I paying now so that I can be able to play later? Me as Richard and we as leaders, please, we pay now so that we can play later. Life is about pain. Life is about pain. But the greatest pain, friends, is the pain of regret. The greatest pain in life is the pain of regret. I was, one time I was listening to an interview, and they were interviewing this guy, Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson's coach told him that he was supposed to be running on snow at 2 a.m. At 2 a.m., can you believe? At 2 a.m. to run on the snow? Why? Because he said, your opponent outside there is not doing this kind of thing. I want you to do what your opponent is not willing to do. So this guy was, imagine, 2 a.m. during snow, during winter, he is running because the opponent is sleeping at that time. And he went through this pain and became this beast that when he went into the ring, he was devouring everyone. The same thing with Tiger Woods. At the time when it was not even necessary in golf to lift weights, Tiger Woods began to lift weights. He began to run miles. He said that he wanted his physical body to match his mental level, that he saw another person in his mind, but his body was feeling another way. So he had to go through the pain. He had to go through the pain. In the jungle, in success, life is about pain. So if you're somebody who likes comfort too much, if you think that any correction, any process of pain is too much for you, that's unbearable for you, you are only beating yourself, my brother. You're only beating yourself, my sister. If you are beating yourself, you'll never become a better person. You'll always be a mediocre. You'll always be a sheep. You'll always be a mediocre. You'll always be a failure. But to be a lion, to be a leader, to be a success, to follow your heart and fulfill that dream, you need to be tough on yourself. Be tough on yourself. Get that flesh out of the bed. Sometimes, you know what, Josephine, I think, you remember when you're at school, you wake up in the morning, how are you feeling? How could you feel waking up in the morning?
I used to sleep near the siren in high school. So when it's 4:30, they ring the siren and it is so loud in my ears, and you feel like, oh my God, I should just get like another blanket and add on top, because at that time you still want to sleep, but the siren is calling, out of bed, out of bed, out of bed. They are required to be tough, to wake up when even others are sleeping, for example, even before the alarm rings, and you can be able to wake up. We used to call it winter, to wake up for winter, that early morning. Man, you got to be tough yourself.
So sometimes you need to force your flesh to listen. Don't let that flesh have dominion over you. You get to do what you need to do. Get that flesh feel the pain so that you can get the results you desire in your life. Listen to me. Get that flesh to feel the pain so that you can get the results you desire in your life. Stop pitying yourself. Stop having a self-pity. That is life for you. No one is there enjoying. Everyone is passing through pain. That is your lot. Go through it. Confront it, face it, accept to pass through the pain so that you'll be able to achieve the result that you want. So let that body pass through the pain so that you get the result that you want. That is our first principle. Beautiful, Josephine. Beautiful, Josephine. So let's move to the second one again. Let's move to the second one. Give me my second principle. Give me my second principle.
Interesting. Force yourself to do what you don't like doing.
One more time.
Force yourself to do what you don't like doing.
Force yourself to do what you don't like doing. The jungle of success is in forcing yourself to do what you don't feel like doing. Forcing yourself to do what you don't feel like doing. Most of the time, unfortunately, and especially we adults, we only want to do what we feel like doing. So we don't want to do what we don't feel like doing. But let me challenge you. Most of us here are parents. You have got a child. When it is morning and say your child is sleeping on the bed, do you go and tell your child, it's okay, please? Given my background, they used to call me Muzee. Muzee means that, like grandfather, because they name you after you. They say, Muzee, you keep on sleeping. You sleep, please. Sleep, please. Is that what you tell the child? No. Do you know what? You get that child out of the bed. For us, especially the third world countries, you wake up, the child is waking up at 5, sometimes 4:30 to go to school because they have to be at school at 6. And with the jam and all those kind of things. So the child is there, the eyes are closed, but you pour cold water, say you can't bathe, and then you give it tea, take tea. Why? You know very well that the path to success, the road to success requires that. So your child, just like your child, it doesn't want to wake up in the morning to go to, you don't just give up. But you have to make that child go to school because that is the way to success. The same thing with adults. You think the principles have changed? But the problem with you as an adult today is because no one is there to beat you. You think now, and because they call you an adult. But do you know what the definition of a failure? A failure is somebody that gives to his flesh and to his body what the body wants. Josephine, can you imagine that? A failure is somebody who gives to his flesh and to his body what it wants.
Interesting. I think that because we, as adults, we have the responsibility on ourselves. That's why we move or we live with a lot of complacency and just choose what to do and what not to do. And yet the life of success requires that we force ourselves.
Yes. We force ourselves to do what we don't feel like doing. Of course, you know that quote says, if you do what others are not willing to do, you will get what they cannot get. If you do what others are not willing to do, if you force yourself to do what they are not willing to do, you will have what they cannot have. Because this is the mystery about failure. Because failures try, but when it becomes painful, they give up. So for you, if you can go beyond, if you can force yourself to go beyond that level, you are going to break through to success. So don't give your body what your body wants. Don't follow what your body wants. Force it to do what doesn't want to do. Force it to do what doesn't feel like doing. So if you do what you feel like doing all the time, you become a failure in life. In the jungle, you got to go and just do it. Success requires you not again, just go and do it. You got to just go and do it. You got to go and do what you need to do. You got to do what you have to do. That is the rule of life. That's the principle of success. If it needs to be done, go and do it. Do you feel like doing it? No. Remember about studying when you were at school. If you need to pass friends, you go to revise. Whether you feel like revising, whether you don't feel like revising, you go to do what you have to do. How about you with work right now? Tell me that you just deceive. When you want to work, you work. If you don't want to work, you don't. You will not work. Listen, you're going to be fired. You're going to be fired. How about taking medicine? In case you are sick, and then you go to the doctor gives you medicine, and then you come and say, I don't feel like taking medicine. I will not take this medicine. And then say, okay, take the injection. That's painful. I'm not going to take. What will happen? Josephine, what will happen to that kind of person?
The person will die.
You're making me to laugh, but the person will what?
Will die.
The person will die. You're going to die. If you don't take the medicine, you are going to die. You are going to die. There's no shortcut about it. The same with life and success. If you are going to follow just doing what your body wants to do, what you feel like doing, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. So successful people, lions, are people who force themselves to do the right things to be done. Lions force themselves to do the right things to be done. They force themselves to do what they need to do rather than doing only what they feel like doing. So look at your situation right now. Are you doing only what you feel like doing, or you are doing what you have to do? If you need to go and make those sales, go out and make the sales. How about when someone says no? Who cares? Go to the next person. How about when they say no? Who cares? Go to the next person. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. So successful people actually do what they don't feel like doing. And that is why all failures don't like routines. All failures. The word failures hate most is called routine. Routine. Why? Routine meaning you're doing the same thing over. I know routine is boring. Routines are boring, friends. I know you know what I'm talking about. Routines are boring. But routines are the secret of success, because by forcing yourself to do what you don't feel like doing, automatically you become a success. So if you want to be successful, if you want to become a lion, if you want to succeed in the jungle is about doing what you don't feel like doing. If the animal is ahead of you and you know you don't feel like chasing it, please, you got to chase it to survive. And you got to chase it with energy, not just chasing it jokingly. It will disappear. You're not going to see where it has passed. You got to chase it with all energy, meaning, my friend, remove feelings. That's why the good book says we live by faith and not by sight. Don't tell me about feeling. Put in the energy, put in the power, put in the passion. Go for that thing. Even when you don't feel like, just do it. You will feel like, oh, when you begin doing it, when you begin forcing yourself, you begin to feel like, and you are going to enjoy it. So don't look for easy things in life. Don't look for easy things in life. Look for things that are difficult. If you want to succeed, if you want to make it big, look for things that are difficult. Go into paths that are not treaded. That's why someone said that do not go where the path leads, but go where there's no path, so that you leave a trail. Go for the difficult things. Go for the virgin areas. Go where no one has ever gone. Even if you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. For the highway to success, for that is the highway to success. When you break your flesh, when you humble your desires, when you refuse to obey what your body is telling you. So go and do those things that you need to do, even if you don't feel like doing. For success is hidden in the place of pain. What a principle that I've learned in life. What a beautiful principle that I learned in life. That success is hidden in a place of pain. Josephine, think about that. Success is hidden in a place of pain.
That is a very, very powerful principle. But you see, I was just thinking that the reason why many of us are living a mediocre life is because we avoid pain. We have, as long as it causes pain, no, I'm not going to go to that. I love my life. I love my life. I cannot let myself go through such pain. Let me just live and get to something else. So this
But do you know what, Josephine? That's a deception, because later on those people will pay. That's
That
what
is
John
true.
Maxwell said. They're just postponing the payment. They're postponing the pain. The pain's ahead of them.
That is true. And
See,
that is
and
why
that's-
at old age, many people cannot sustain life, because at the time when they needed to go through the pain, they avoided it.
They
And
avoid
now
it.
it is inevitable at old age. They can't avoid it, but go through it.
Wow.
Uh,
Well, what a powerful principle. For success is hidden in the place of pain. So by doing things you don't feel like doing, you find success. What a simple formula. By doing things you don't feel like doing, you find success. You find success. What a simple formula. What a powerful formula. What a powerful principle. By doing things you don't feel like doing, you find success. Wow, wow, I got to run because of time. Josephine, give me my next principle.
the next principle is conquer yourself.
One more time.
Conquer yourself.
You see, these things are flowing. You see, for you to be tough on yourself and do the things you don't feel like doing, you must conquer yourself. The best victory that you could ever have is to conquer yourself. For the number one enemy that you need to conquer is yourself. The number one enemy that you need to conquer is yourself. Many people are busy trying to conquer some principalities, trying to conquer some powers, trying to conquer some demons. They are there trying to conquer some generational curses. That is a lie. You as a Christian don't even need to bother about generational curses. But what I discovered and what I have learned from my mentors, that you yourself, you are the biggest enemy. You are the biggest enemy to yourself. So what I discovered is that you and yourself is the biggest fight for yourself. The fight is between you and yourself. So you need to conquer yourself first. You need to put yourself in a place and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. You got to put yourself in a place and talk to yourself that, yes, I must change myself. I must change my habits. If you're a procrastinator, confront that procrastination. If you're lazy, confront that laziness. Look and say, I must work on my weaknesses. I must become a better person. So, this is interesting. This is interesting, Josephine. This is interesting. This is very interesting. That you must conquer yourself.
Interesting indeed. Because I think sometimes we allow our body to so much dictate how we do things. If I feel like sleeping longer, I just pull the blanket over and sleep longer. And yet the principle here is we must put the body under subjection. It must listen to us rather than us obeying it. Yeah, so because if you've not conquered yourself, there's no way you can force yourself to do what you don't want to. You can't force yourself to do the right thing because you have not conquered yourself.
Exactly.
You're simply being swept away by the wind. What the body feels like is the direction you take.
You see, and that's what I think Apostle Paul said. He said, I put myself under myself. What a powerful statement. I put myself under myself. Because for most of our challenges are connected to us. Most of our challenges are connected to us. Even if, most of us don't want to accept that we are responsible. And I think that Les Brown likes to say this. I always hear him say, he says that only the successful ones admit that they are self-made. Only the successful ones admit that they are self-made. But the failures don't want to admit. And why don't they want to admit? They don't want to admit because they don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. So the majority of people, blame others. Yet majority of the blame should come from us. Should come from us. So it is better to focus on ourselves. Focus on the inside. See what amount of blame do I carry? then try to work on yourself, because if you're blaming the environment, you're not going to change the environment. But if you believe that, yes, it is me that is supposed to be, I blame myself. It is me who's a procrastinator. It is me who's lazy. It's me who's not doing what I'm supposed to do. It's me who's not meeting my targets on a daily basis. Then I go to work on myself. I carry the blame. And listen to me, the moment you carry the blame, you can work on yourself. There is hope. Because you can change yourself. But if you think other people are the problem, you cannot change other people. You can't change other people, but you can change yourself. So remove some of those things that have led you to where you are today. Analyze yourself. Have a time of self-reflection and say, why am I getting the result I'm getting? What am I not doing? Let me give you this simple formula. Get a successful person that you want to become like. Someone that you envy, someone that you want to become like, and look at the principles that they are following. Look at the principles they are living in their life, the principles they are following. Maybe they're hardworking, the number of time they're working in a day. Find out all those details and then begin to compare yourself and say, okay, if I can do what that person is doing, I'm going to get the result that he is getting. This is the secret. So begin to force yourself and say, fine, I must conquer myself to do what that person is doing. So the first work you could do in the world is to work on yourself. Listen to me. The first work that you could do is to work on yourself. The first victory that you could gain in the world is victory over yourself. The moment you gain victory over yourself, that you are doing exactly what your heart desires, that you are doing exactly what you have set out to do, I can guarantee you that you may not reach there 100%. But if you're at 70%, if you're at 80%, then there's victory right there. So what I'm saying is, let's consider talking to ourselves. Let's consider working on ourselves rather than being concerned of other people. You cannot change others. You cannot change that environment. Change yourself. You are your biggest enemy. You are the biggest enemy of your life. And I know you have great dreams. That is why you're on this kind of platform. You have great dreams. I know you're planning to do great things. I know you're a great person, planning to do wonderful things, planning to do great things. But do you know what? Unfortunately, what I've discovered from my mentors, that most of the time, if we don't conquer ourselves, we will never conquer the world. If we don't conquer ourselves, we shall never conquer the world. A man that will conquer the world must first conquer himself. A man that will conquer the world must first conquer himself. Have you thought about that? So if you are going to conquer that world, listen, conquer yourself. The moment you're more powerful than that environment, then you're going to overcome that environment. But so long as the environment, if people in the environment are still doing what you're not doing, you are finished. You are finished. So I'm asking you the question, have you conquered yourself? Have you conquered yourself yet? You need to conquer yourself first before you could be thinking that you're going to conquer the world. So if you don't work on yourself, if you don't perfect yourself, if you don't train yourself, if you don't discipline yourself, if you don't tutor yourself, if you don't manage yourself, you will discover that you will not be effective in managing others. It's only when you manage yourself that you begin to inspire other people. Because when you say, let us come early, by exactly 6, you're there. But when you come up with the polls and say you're coming, let's start working early, you show up at 8 because you got lazy, you slept up to 7. Who are you going to influence? Who are you going to inspire? So you go to, in order for you to manage others, manage yourself. So for us to conquer the world, let's conquer ourselves. As a matter of fact, only people who have conquered themselves eventually rule the world. He who conquers himself rules the world. I'll never forget that advert of, I think, the year 2000 or something, when African Cup of Nations were being played in Egypt. Not the second, but the other first said, he who conquers Egypt rules Africa. He who conquers Egypt rules Africa. Listen to me. He who conquers himself rules the world. Only those who have gained victory over themselves are people who have authority, because they don't have the same challenges. They don't have the same issues that the average person is fighting with. So any person, if you have not conquered yourself, and you fall into success, that success is very temporal. Eventually, success will become sorrow for you. It will destroy you because it will reveal and will expose who you are, that you're a weakling, that you're nothing. So conquer yourself. Conquer yourself, Josephine. We got to conquer ourselves. And this is the work we are engaging in on a daily basis as leaders, to conquer ourselves. All right, let's step into our next principle. We are looking at the principles of the jungle. If you live by this principle, friends, success will be automatic. Life of achievement will be automatic. All right, I think I jumped. Yes, Josephine, give me step number 4, our 4th principle.
Create an environment of success.
One more time.
Create an environment of success.
Create an environment of success. You got to surround yourself with the right people for you to truly be successful. I cannot overemphasize the importance of environment. Environment alone is 50% of success. Environment again, alone 50% of success. So you got to surround yourself with the right people. The people, ask yourself this question: the people that I'm surrounded myself with, are they pushing me to success? Are they helping me to become better? Are they helping you to earn more? Are they helping you to go forward? Are they helping you to leap longer and jump higher? Look at your friends. Because as I told you last time, you are the average of your 5 friends. Get your 5 friends and then you divide. Their average is your life. So this is the principle. For example, if you want to be engaged in maybe in business, for example, you got to surround yourself with business people. You got to read business books. You got to attend business seminars. If you want to get involved in politics, you got to surround yourself with politicians. Let me tell you a story. I've always said this story several times. I hope you are not getting tired of it, but and these guys are new. This is their first time. I had a friend of mine, a colleague of mine. One time he came to me and said, no, Richard, I have this testimony that most people always disagree. I don't know why. I said, what is it? What is it about your testimony? Tell me your testimony. He said, God spoke to me that I'm going to become the president of Uganda. I said, wow, His Excellency, you're going to become the president. God has spoken to that. Yes, God has spoken to me. I said, that is powerful. I said, now, why don't you join Paul? You go and become maybe LOC3 or so on. He said, no. He has told me that they are going to come and pick me. He has told me that just like Esther, Mordecai is going to come and look for me. They are going to come and look for me. Josephine, you know that friend of mine. No, you have heard about him. 10 years later, no Mordecai has gone to him. In fact, I met him recently, even transport His Excellency does not have. Why? It's a very simple thing. When you get a seed, the first thing that comes to your mind is the soil, the environment that you're going to plant that seed in. And so it is wise that the garden is prepared. You have applied the fertilizer because you want to give it the right environment. So the nutrients that you need for growth is found in your environment. So if you want to grow politically, it is found in your environment. If you want to become a millionaire or a billionaire, it's found in the environment. And this is the beauty of our age, because environment is a major key to success. It's an important factor to success. But this is the thing, that today you don't need to move. For example, if I want to become a millionaire, I can't go to US to meet Donald Trump. You can't even meet me. But you know what? I can read Donald Trump's books. I can listen to his videos. And when I read his books and listen to his videos, I am with him in the same environment. So anybody who you want, you can bring them to your environment by bringing their books, by bringing just like you have brought me to your environment, listening to me. You are in my environment, this crazy environment of going forward, this crazy environment of doing everything that we need to do. You are now tapping into this environment. So I will encourage you, whoever you want to become like on earth, it is possible. Just get that person to your home. By what? get the books, get their videos, get everything. So it is very important. You cannot underestimate the role of environment in success. Environment beats preparation. Environment beats every other thing. So you need to find people who are already in the place where you want to be in. Listen to me. Let me give you a secret here. Find the people who are already in the place that you need to be in. Find the people. And that's why even if they, you don't have them in your environment, bring them through their books. But and those people outside there, are you telling me that you don't know anybody who has really achieved what you want to achieve? They are there. There are many. So go and get their books to create the right environment. Create environment for yourself. If you don't have the environment, forget about success. Forget about success. Forget about success. So this is a major factor for being successful. Success is available and attainable in an environment. This teaches us about the lion and the eagle. Josephine, have you ever seen a lion going out with giraffe and just living with the bulls and cows? Have you ever seen a lion doing such a thing?
No. Those
What
are
happens
actually,
always?
you find lions in the company of other lions. In the company of other lions. And there is an example again of the eagle. Eagles don't fly in flocks. They don't fly in schools like the other birds. They fly alone. And if you're to see another bird flying so high, that if an eagle meets another bird flying so high, it should be another eagle. So they really...
Beautiful. Should be another eagle. They don't fly. If you're always the people who are you are with the ducks. You are with the ducks. Get into the environment of eagles, the lonely environment of leaders, revising and always, listening, and all those are the environments of success. So this is what the young lion taught us. He joined his fellow lion in the jungle to be in the environment or conditions of lions. He joined. He made the step. He joined. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. Let us see our next principle. Yes, Josephine.
Our next principle is be proactive.
One more time.
Be proactive.
Be proactive. This is powerful. Being proactive. Whenever I think about being productive, the name that comes to my mind is Peter, the Apostle Peter, the guy who took over from Jesus. This guy teaches us about being proactive, being an upstart, being a wiseacre. Because a lot of us, we don't want to be called wiseacres, but look at the life of Peter. Peter was a guy who was always proactive. They were on the boat. The boat was sinking. They see someone walking on water. And the voice says, the guys, all of them said that, if it is you, Lord, tell us to come. Jesus says, I am the one. Do you know the first person to step out? Do you know the proactive person? It was Peter. It was Peter. Remember again, here, Jesus asked the question, who do people say I, the son of man, am? You are the prophet. You are this, you are Jeremiah. He asked them, who do you say I am? Who was the first to answer? Peter. When they came to attack Jesus, who was the first to chop off someone's ears? Peter. The guy was always proactive. It caused him problems. Jesus called him Satan, said, get behind me, Satan. But also, it made him to take over from Jesus' place. Not because Peter was anointed. They were with Jesus, who was all anointed. They were the Holy Spirit. But it was because Peter was always proactive. It was because Peter was this upstart. Most of us don't want, and we don't want to be looked as if we are upstarts, as if we are wiseacres, because they always say you're a wiseacre. So most of us, in fact, Josephine was telling me that she was a coward. Josephine, you said you were a coward at school. You did want to be a wiseacre, right?
Yeah, I never raised my hand anyhow. Always behind.
You're always behind. But at the end of the day, you know what? They always laugh at the wiseacres, but they are known by the teachers. But in their attempt, sometimes they fail, but sometimes they get the answers right. Their willingness to learn, that open-mindedness helps them a lot. So when I want you to know something, that please, you need to be proactive. You need to be proactive. You need to be fast. Take up the opportunity. Go for it. Don't wait. You know, it always amazes me, but the likes of they're called what? The explorers. When they came to my country, Uganda, that they are the ones who discovered the source of the Nile. That's a lie. That's a lie. There were guys here, but because he was the first white man, now it's attached to him that that is the guy who discovered the source of the Nile. John Speke. If you look at America, for example, with Columbus, that Columbus, the one who discovered America, there are people living there. But what I'm trying to say, you see, if you are the first, you take the territory. So be the first. Be proactive. Don't allow opportunity to pass you by. Opportunities will always come from the behind door, disguising as challenges. Opportunities will always come. They are shy. Opportunities are shy. Opportunities are shy. They come from the behind door. So be able to be proactive. Be able to recognize an opportunity. Jump into it. Will you fail sometimes? Yes, you'll fail sometimes. But you'll also make it sometimes. It's a good news. Just as you'll fail, you'll also make it. Beautiful, beautiful. So you got to be proactive. You got to be proactive. You got to be proactive. Our next principle, Josephine.
Our next principle is work.
One more time.
The principle of work.
Work. Wow. If we could have the whole digits, we could discuss this principle alone, because you know how loaded work is. But let me say this. Success is hidden in a place called work. Success is in a place called work, in the ability to work hard and work smart. Work is one of the major instruments for success. You can never find a truly successful person who does not like to work. You can never find a truly successful person who does not like to work. Let me tell you a story of my brother, the real brother of mine. This guy lives in Sweden. But no, when he was going to Sweden, he told me that when they reached Sweden, there were both of them, my brothers. So when they reached there, when they described to the people who came to pick them about them, they told those people that, no, you go and find two men who are carrying caveras, because they went to Sweden with caveras on their hands. But my brother told me one thing that I went with, even though I was carrying that cavera, but I went with the desire to work hard. I am a workaholic. I work hard. Just the other week, I think before last week, he worked 4 days non-stop. I'm talking about 96 hours non-stop. He was working in this place. He was working in 2 places. So one shift he could do 12, I think maybe 3, because he could do 8. I'm talking about non-stop for 4 days. This guy is my mentor. This guy is my hero. He non-stop. He told me, listen, I got to do what I have to do. And good, you know, today he lives he doesn't even live in the city by then, because you know what? He lives in one of the suburbs down there in Sweden. And in that suburb, amongst the whites, the only black, but his house, he lives in his house around $4 million. And his house is the biggest. He went with the cavera. They ever knew him that doctor came with the cavera, but today he has a house of $4 million, beating a lot of the old folks who are there. Because he told me something. He said, please, these guys know that they know their parents. Their parents left for them inheritance, but for me, I know where I come from. I know there's no inheritance my father left for me. The only thing I have is hard work. Friends, I can guarantee you this. I have had this from my mentors, Dr. Miles Monroe. These are hard workers. You cannot find a truly successful person who is not a workaholic, Who is not a workaholic? Let me tell you about that term workaholic. I learned this from one of my mentors. The word workaholic is gotten from the word alcoholic. Josephine, do you know an alcoholic?
Yes, I know an alcoholic. He cannot sustain life without alcohol. If he has not taken alcohol, he's sick. But once he takes it, life comes back.
He comes alive. He cannot live without alcohol. He has to smell, at least let him smell it. That's an alcoholic. In fact, he moves smelling alcohol. Everything about him is alcohol. Now, success requires the same way that guy, the alcoholic, behaves. Success, that's how you're supposed to work. Success requires you to be a workaholic. You must be a workaholic. You must be someone who likes to work. So for you to be really successful in life, you got to love to work. And work not just anyhow. Because many people they really work, but many people, they just work, but they don't work hard and they don't work smart. The difference between working hard and working smart, because a lot of this generation, they want to deceive themselves, that working smart doesn't mean you don't work hard. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. The difference between working hard and working smart is that get enough knowledge about what you want to do before you begin to do it. And this is the secret of the lion. Before the lion attacks, the lion doesn't rush to attack. The lion first calculates. You'll see it lying down, calculating its moves. By the time the lion is attacking, it is hitting direct to the target. That's working smart. But even when they talk about working smart, it doesn't mean that you're not going to work hard. You must start to do it, but you must do it hard. Do it smart and do it hard and do it more. Work even harder. If you are able to work hard and work smart and work more, there is no way success will escape you. There is no way success will escape you. This is my only tool. I don't have money. I don't have connection here in Uganda. I don't even know the big shots. But what I have is the desire to put in the hard work, is the desire to put in that energy, is the desire to work hard, work smart by researching and working more, pushing in at least 17 hours, at least 16 hours, so that I can be able to break through. So if you really want to be successful, learn not just to work, but learn to work by first getting knowledge about the nature of work that you want to do, and be able to work smart and be able to do things strategically. But even when you're doing things smart, even when you're doing things strategically, make sure that you do it hard. Make sure that you're doing it with all your energy. The Bible says that in all things that you do with all your might. It's like pushing a baby. To push a baby, you push with all your might. You know, one of my mentors was talking a story. He said, you observe this in life. Do you know what? I think you have observed this, that if you want to boil an egg, it takes 5 minutes. If you bring the water to a boiling point and put an egg, only 5 minutes. But do you know what? If the water is not boiled, you can boil that egg for the whole day and the egg will not get ready. Can you believe that, Josephine?
That's interesting. It's something I've actually not really observed. Because for me, the way I boil an egg is put it in water and until the water boils. When the water has boiled, I know now the egg is ready. But I didn't know that if the water doesn't boil, the egg can't actually get ready.
But you see, you're saying something important, that you know it is in your subconscious that bring the water to boiling, the boiling point. The moment the water boils, give it some few minutes, the egg is ready. Do you know if you don't boil, if the water doesn't come to boiling point, the egg doesn't get ready. The egg doesn't get ready. the egg doesn't get ready. The same thing is with success. Success requires you to work with all your heart, to give everything. So you'll say, but I've been working. How come I've been working for long? But because maybe you're working 8 hours or you're working 6 hours, meaning you're boiling the egg maybe at 60 degrees, and you're even reasoning, but I'm working harder than a lot of people because most people are not really working hard. Why? Because for you now, you're saying, I'm boiling my water at 60, and I'm boiling more than the people who are boiling at 30. But both of you have not yet brought the water to a boiling point. You must bring the water to 100 degrees so that that water is boiling. You must work hard. You must work until you break through. And the moment there's a breakthrough level, when you're putting in 16, that's why most of the successful people, read the likes of Steve Jobs, they had to start at 16 to 18 hours. Boom. When they did that, they broke through. Just think that this story that my mentor talked about, that I always talk about it too. This guy who did network marketing. The good thing, we have a lot of guys who are doing network marketing. This guy was network marketing. And the guy decided, said, you know what? He discovered that if he's going to break through, he's supposed to give it his best. He's supposed to become a workaholic. He's supposed to give it everything. So the guy called his family, said, please family, wife come, children come. He says, I'm going to stop doing all the things that I've been doing. Your dad is going to stop doing what he has been doing. I'm not going to be doing them. Family said, what's happening? Where are you going? He said, I'm going nowhere. But he says, I must give my work 100%. I've not been giving it 100%. I've been only giving it maybe 60, and that's why I'm not getting the result. I want to give network marketing 100%. So he said, for that reason, for the next 1 year or for the next 2 years, I want to work a minimum of 18 hours. So you're not going to see me, family. But he says, this is the deal. When I make it, ask me for anything. Ask me for anything. The wife says, are you sure? He said, yes. The wife said, fine. I will want a Mercedes. The daughter said, I will want a Jaguar. The house said, the woman said, the wife said, I want a new home. They said all these things. But the guy said, the condition is this, release me for 1 or 2 years. I have to give, I want to become a workaholic for at least 2 years. I want to break through. Do you know what? The guy did it for 9 months, only 9 months, Josephine. 9 months, the guy broke through. He made $1 million in 9 months. And from that time, he started making $1 million every month. And guess what? The woman got the Mercedes. The daughter got the Jaguar. They got the new home everywhere they want to go. But the guy broke through. I think this concept, have you ever heard about that concept, Josephine, that, you know, that the woman, that the water has to break through? Have you heard that the water has to break? Have you heard that concept?
For the baby to come out.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
For the baby to come out, for the gift of the baby to come out, the water has to break. Now, you guys know that in that labor ward, for the water to break, there you're not going to get anyone with the lipstick in that labor ward. You're not going to get someone combing their hair, casual about it. People are there fighting life and death for water to break. The baby is coming forth. That is the time of total dedication. So that's the kind of hard work we're talking about. So what I'm trying to say is, I want you to consider the kind of work that you are focused on the results. You are focused on the end, at the end of the day. You focus on the result that you want to get at the end of the day. And you focus on aiming to get the result, meaning you have a goal ahead of you. And once you set that goal, go for that goal. Go for that goal. Go for that goal 110%. Give it your best. Work hard, not just for 8 hours. Work as long as it's possible. Work until you faint. Work until you get tired. The only time you stop to work is because you're tired, because you can't work any longer. Not because you have worked for 8 hours. You can't achieve success. So working hard and working smart and working more is the key for success. The lion rather dies than give up the prey. When the lion sets a goal to get that prey and it jumps on that prey, it jumps on that prey, I mean, it goes there with everything. It rather dies than give up. We are talking about the principle of work. We are talking about the principle of work. Not this is too much. We could spend a lot of time, but we need to run away from this principle, Josephine. But success is in a place of work. And not just work, hard work, working smart and working more. Let us move forward to this other principle of success.
Number 7 is accept who you are.
Accept who you are. I think this is very important again. Accept who you are. Because majority of us don't want to accept who we are. Majority of us hate who we are. But I want to prove this to you tomorrow. I can't wait for you guys tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be handling 2 lessons, 1 hour. The first one is going to be talking about the miseducation of the third world. But the second one is going to be talking about no one's better than you, where I'm going to be dealing with identity. Because most of us, unfortunately, we hate ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We hate ourselves. But I want you to know this, that stop trying to be someone you're not. Stop hating yourself and trying to think that, you know what, if I can only be like so and so, then I'll achieve success. No. Accept yourself. Accept who you are. No one is better than you. Accept who you are. So you find a lot of people making big deal about dressing. Of course, you know, I know, yes, good to dress, but when you're dressing, you know, and they're struggling with removing, maybe putting all kind of makeups and doing all these things are good. I'm not against them. But most of the time we do those things because we want to create a wrong impression. We try to create another impression rather than being who we are. If you are beautiful, I want you to let that thing be to magnify your beauty, not to bring in another image. Put in the lipstick so that because you're in love, if that nose is big, fall in love with your big nose. Put in something that will magnify. If you're dark like me, fall in love with your pigmentation. Put on things that are going to make you shine. Put on dresses, put on clothes that's making you shine, and they see you from far. Fall in love with yourself. Do not try to create an impression, and now that you know if you can be like another person, then you'll be better. Most of us hate the people we see in the mirror. And so we begin to live lifestyles now so that we live lifestyles with other people. No, don't be deceived. Accept who you are. Accept who you are. Of course, what you don't like, you can improve. Improve and become the lion in you. So you must stop to be who you are not. Stop trying to create an impression. Stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to make everybody accept you. They're not going to accept you. Don't waste that time. Stop trying to put up a show. Stop trying to be an actor. Come to realize who you are and go for your dream. Listen to me. When you become original, they'll like you. If you can become yourself, they'll like you. Do you know the person you like? Because that person has accepted who they are. They've magnified their uniqueness. They've magnified that thing about them. And that's what draws you to them. So if you're not good enough, work on yourself. I'm not against working on yourself, but work on yourself to perfect yourself and bring the best out of yourself. Not because you hate yourself. So accept who you are. Accept who you are. That is our that number 7, right? That was number 7, Josephine. So let's step number 8. We have no time. We are running out of time, and yet we need to finish.
Number 8 is be hungry for knowledge.
One more time.
Be hungry for knowledge.
Be hungry for knowledge. Principle 8, be hungry for knowledge. If you want, this is the mystery. If you have the right information, you will know the factors of success. And if you know the factors of success, it will be very easy for you to attain, or very easy for you to be successful. It will be very easy for you to become yourself. Why? Because you know the factors of success. You just need to get the right information. And that's why they say information is power. Knowledge is power. So for people who know the importance and the significance of knowledge, their lives can never remain the same. No matter where you are, even if you're in the darkest village, like where I come from in Rubongi, in a small village in Tororo district, please, if you can lay your hands on knowledge, and this is what I learned. When I heard Tony Robbins saying that he was reading one book a day, I said, oh, I can't even read one book a month. This man is reading one book a day. I determined to read at least one book in 2 weeks, in 2 days. I went for it. I worked hard. I disciplined myself. I went for the knowledge. And you know what? That knowledge gave me the ability to exalt me and to raise me out, to raise me out of my darkness. And put me on a level where I'm not ashamed of myself, not ashamed of my progress. I may have not arrived, but I've left. I have left. I'm not where I used to be. I am headed to my dreams because I have laid my hands on certain information. Information makes a whole difference. With information, when information comes to you, it just disperses darkness. It disperses that ignorance. It disperses that fear. It brings you on top of the world. It brings you on top of the world. So one of the things, or one of the factors to make success available to you is get yourself informed. Get yourself informed. Go for knowledge. Be hungry for knowledge. Be thirsty for knowledge. Be on the adventure for knowledge. If you look out for knowledge, you will never remain where life has put you in. If you can get the knowledge, you will always move forward and be closer to success. Success will become such a reality for you than you can ever imagine because you are a lover of knowledge, because you have decided to go for knowledge. Josephine, you know what? I want you to be able to submit in this next principle because this next principle, if I begin to talk about it, I may not leave I may not leave this meeting. Let me just hear you talk about the wealth of time.
The wealth of time. I have done a little study about the wealth of time, and wow, it is one of the resources or the wealth that God indiscriminate, I don't know how to say it, but he did not discriminate anyone with this resource called time. Each and every one of us, he gave 24 hours. And the results that we have in our life is a reflection of how we have used this time. In fact, I was reading a certain book, and the writer was describing the value of time and said, time is equal to your life because time is the measure of your life. How much time you have spent on earth, how many years you have spent on earth, that is how much time you have lived here on earth. And he said that every day, the 24 hours that we have every day, if he could convert it to dollars, he says God credits to each and everyone's account $80,400 every day in terms of seconds. And and he asked the question and said, how much, if that was the money that was coming to your account every day, and they tell you by the time the clock 6, you have $80,000 in your account, and by 6 in the evening or by midnight, that money, the money that you have not used up is taken back. How much of that money will you have utilized? How much of it would you have invested? How much would you have made out of that amount of money that falls into your account every morning? And wow. I was very challenged.
Wow. Every day. Let me tell you this, friends, the greatest wealth we have, forget about money. Money comes from time. The greatest wealth we have as human beings is time. Time, in fact, Josephine, I said, it's only equal to life. Time is more than money. Time is more than gold. Time is only equal to life. And I like the example you've given, that every day, heaven, God graciously gives us
$84,000. In other words, we receive 84,000 seconds on or every day. Can you imagine that? It's credited to your account. So time, and Josephina says, is your life. Whatever you do with your time is what you're doing with your life. Unfortunately, because there are three things you do with time. You'll either waste time, either spend time, or invest time. What does it mean to waste time? To waste time, I always give this explanation. Most of us here, you cook using gas. So assuming you went and bought gas, brought home, and then maybe your household or your maid at home lights this gas and it's not cooking anything, and the gas is just burning away. You are going to tell that person, you are wasting my gas. Why? Because the gas is being burnt, but there's no product. There's nothing that is getting out of it. So when you're wasting that gas, it means you're not cooking anything with it. You're not benefiting from it. There's nothing you're getting, no product is coming out of that fire. The same thing with time. Whenever time passes through your hands and you cannot show something that you have used with your time, you have wasted that time. So if heaven gives you 84,000 seconds every day, what can you show? What is the product for one day? What is the product for your one day? What can you show? How many clients did you get for that day? How many people did you serve? What can you show at the end of the day that this is the result of the 84,000 seconds that heaven gave me? Unfortunately, a lot of us just waste time. We just let that time to be wasted. We just, at the end of the day, we have nothing to show. So the first way people use time is by wasting time. Unfortunately, my people, the third world people, are seniors at wasting time. We are experts at wasting time. A lot of our youths in the evening, they go to the training centers just to stand there looking at the buses that is the cars that are passing, and they say that how we are passing time. The greatest wealth that heaven gives, for them, they don't know any value about it. But yet, when in developed, and some of you are in developed nations and developed countries. For example, in America, someone tells you, you know what, you can waste my money, but you can't waste my time. I can lose money, but I can't lose time. Why? When time goes, it's gone. So don't waste time. The second way to use time is to spend time. To spend time, it means another person is the one controlling your time. So you are using your time to help another person create a product for them. You are not using your time in line with your dreams or in line with your purpose or in line with your passion. You are helping another person. And this is what happens in jobs. In jobs, you are not wasting time, but that time, it is your boss who's controlling it. It's not you controlling it. So you are put in a system when another person is controlling your time and they pay you for your time. That is spending time. Now, it might be better than wasting time, but it is useless. It is because you are exchanging your life. Remember, time is life. You are exchanging it with salary, which is porridge. But the highest form of using time is to invest time. What does it mean to invest time? To invest time is as if you are fighting time. You are not allowing any second to go, minus you getting a product from it, minus you doing something in line with your dreams, in line with your purpose, in line with your passion. Every second that is passing, for the last 1 hour or so on, we have not allowed this second to pass. We have created a value, and this value we are sending it for you. We've not allowed this time to be wasted. We have invested it in line with our dreams. You know, to invest means that you're going to get it in the future. To invest means that the result will come out. You are going to get the outcome in the future. And this is what it means. I hope you've seen what it means to use time. So I am hoping that you've learned the wealth of time. I am hoping that from today, you'll not allow time to pass without you showing, without you investing it into something in line with your purpose, in line with your passion. So don't waste time. Don't waste time. When you waste time, you are wasting your life. When you waste time, you are abusing your life. You are abusing your life. And so also, if you waste other people's time, you are abusing their life. And the last one, Josephine, our last principle Our last principle today. Give me the last principle, please.
Nurture the small things.
Nurture the small things. Nurture the small things. Beautiful. Nurture the small things. This is a very powerful principle. I think this is what Jesus was able to teach us, nurturing the small things. Because the big things come from small things. Every big thing that we see today comes out of small things. Anything you see on earth today that is big, at one time it was a small thing. You know, it's God who teaches us this principle. He hides a woman in a girl. Josephine, God hides a man in a boy. He hides a nation, a big nation, in one man. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
Amazing.
Can you believe that? Nurture the small things. In fact, it's the principle Jesus taught us. He said, if you are faithful with the little, you'll be faithful. Attitude towards the little thing. What is your attitude towards that little thing? What is your attitude? How do you view the little thing? How do you view those 2 clients? How do you view those 10 clients? Your attitude towards them determines what is going to come. If you are faithful with the little, more will be added unto you. So your faithfulness with the little is what will qualify you. Everybody, life will qualify them. Life will test them. Will test them with what? Little things. Little things. So nurture the small things. Nurture that small company. Nurture that small dream. Nurture that small job. It will turn out to a big thing. Nurture the little things. So Josephine, these are the 10 principles that when we live by, we are going to create the life of success. So we are going to send for our colleagues this question, these principles. I want you to share with me. I'm going to send you a Google form. Share with me what has happened in your mind. What are some of the changes? What are the insight that has come as you go through these 10 points? Each one of them, I want to hear from you. So when you send to them, make sure that each point, take up some notes, the new idea, something that the new insight that is coming to you, and make sure you share it with us in the Google form. Yes, Josephine, could you just wrap up our meeting this evening?
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach Richard. You have done a tremendous job again today. This is mind-blowing, and I believe that our colleagues, our friends, our brothers and sisters will be able to learn, and not just learn, but put it into practice. Because last week we said knowledge without action is not power. What brings power to the knowledge is the action that we take. We are on a journey to transform our lives. We're in a journey to unveil our greatness, and it takes to follow the necessary principles and do the necessary work for us to unveil the greatness that God trapped in each and every one of us. And looking forward to tomorrow when we shall be doing the other 2 lessons. I'm just so excited that this is going to turn lives around. And thank you so much, Coach Richard. God bless you.
All right, God bless you too, and peace. So see you guys tomorrow for the other lessons coming. God bless.